Welcome, adventurers! You've made it to the Wind Down, the live stream at the end of the Geekverse. It's a chill place to hang out here as the sun sets on another day. We're here to have a little chat, reflect on the day's successes, and prepare for a better tomorrow. So settle in with your favorite beverage this evening.
May I tempt you with a cup of chamomile?
Why, thank you, Dory. I would love a mug of tea this evening, but perhaps you would rather have some coffee, though I do recommend a decaf this late in the evening. Or perhaps maybe a cold brew is more your style.
Oh, no thank you, Dory. A little red wine. For me, Isaac.
Sounds like an excellent choice, Gandalf. Whatever you want, it's yours. Could I offer you a bourbon, a martini, an old-fashioned, or something perhaps a little stronger? Ugh. Well, I mean, if that's really your thing, then okay, but I hope we can find something a bit better than that.
Romulan ale. Why, Bones, you know this is illegal.
I only use it for medicinal purposes.
All right, now we're talking. I'm Heath, and I'll be your host. Welcome to my home. Come one, come all, writers, artists, sculptors, storytellers, board gamers, streamers, dungeon masters, fans of sci-fi, fantasy, geeks of all kinds. Whatever your fandom, you have a place here. For soon it will be time for another long rest so that we can recover our hit points, our spells, and our abilities, so we'll be ready to fight on for another day tomorrow. But first, we all need a little time to reflect. Because you've survived another long, perilous day of wilderness treks, dungeoneering, and random encounters. And that's worth celebrating. Let's tell the tale. It's time for the Wind Down. It will improve your life. It really will. Give it a chance. Here we go. Hey, everybody. Welcome. Gee, I wish that StreamYard would get it together again. It used to just automatically put me at full screen when you come in, but now it doesn't. So welcome, everybody. Hello, how are you doing? Welcome to my home, welcome to my office, and welcome to the Wind Down. We're going to be doing some more old school RPG game design tonight. I had been taking care of a bunch of personal things over the past, 24 hours or something like that. It's been 48 hours, I guess, since we streamed on Monday, uncharacteristically streaming on Monday, where we went through a whole bunch of things on Monday that had to do with the hacked edge, and also uploading a lot of material for it, which means also a bunch of old school essentials material up to a relational database on the cloud. And basically, that's what we went over. I didn't get to add other things in. I didn't get to add anything in over the past 24 hours, but I did take a look at the 0 level rules that OSD had in Carcass Crawler number 5, and thought, oh, we need to import this as well, because it would be a lot of fun to be able to run 0 level characters through, I'm thinking like American Gladiator or American Ninja Warrior kinds of scenarios. So that information probably needs to go in. And then also, yeah, I probably should have loaded the original OSC stuff and not just the hacked edge modifications. So those might have to go in, but I'm excited about that. So tonight we're going to go back and take a look at just some of the game itself. So what else has happened since, let's see, I think on Tuesday, that was yesterday. Yeah, I think yesterday I did send out a bunch more Kickstarter awards, and I believe now at this point for the Cultist RPG, and I believe at this point we are now 81% fulfilled, and that's basically everybody who is at any kind of pledge level up to 1 to 6, unless you didn't fill out the pledge manager. In that case, I have requested information for the pledge manager, or sent you a message, and then I will circle back around at the end and pick up people who had not picked up the pledge manager. But for if you are pledged at level 7 and 8, I need more brand of Cthulhu stickers. I completely underestimated the number of people who would add on additional brand of Cthulhu stickers. So people wanted those, and so I ran out. So I'm going to have more brand of Cthulhu stickers here at the house next week. And that is basically the last thing that I need in order to fulfill everything. I actually have everybody's rewards sitting on the table in the gaming room, like already sorted and organized. I do have to sign the Cultist Season 1 scripts for everybody who is at the highest level, and I'm going to do that. But everybody's stuff is sitting there, actually on a box. I have all the boxes too. Everything is sitting there. And so level 7 and 8 will start going out as soon as I get the additional stickers. I still have to, like I said, write the notes in the people who need things signed at level 8. But I mean, it's all sitting there. It's ready. It is close. I appreciate everybody being patient. Yep, more stickers for the car. Oh, I probably need to do that too. I had a yellow sign sticker that was on my car, but it's kind of peeled off by now. And so I need to put something else on it. If I have an extra brand of Cthulhu sticker after this, I think the brand of Cthulhu sticker will go on. But also in general, people added on sticker packs, generally speaking. And so, yeah, you can put them on the car. You can put them everywhere, anywhere. Put them someplace that's going to cause maximum chaos. So I hope that next week, as early as next week, the final Kickstarter reward boxes are going to go out. I mean, if it's not then, it'll start being the week after that or something like that. I want to wrap this up. So we are getting very, very close. So that's where we stand. If you are international, I guess the final thing to note is if you are international, all of the international orders have been uploaded to the printer, and those will ship directly to you if you're in Canada, if you're in the UK, if you were in Australia. I think there was one from New Zealand as well. So if you're in any of those locations, some of them have already shipped, but I have uploaded all of those orders. And they're going to ship directly to you because that's the least expensive way to do shipping. And then if you got one of the stickers, then I just put a sticker in an envelope and put an international stamp on it and sent it to you. So those might not have shipped yet. So so those are not included in the 81% fulfilled. I'm only considering you fulfilled once I actually have a tracking number for you. So there are also a small handful, maybe 4 or 5 that are international that are still at the printer. So we're getting close. We're getting close. All right, man, we should chill for a moment. Okay. This is the wind down. We're supposed to be chill. Okay. So, did BGD show up? Oh yeah, BGD just showed up as well. Welcome. Okay, so let me bring up okay, there we go. So I was trying before we started the stream to sort of sort and organize this because our Inner Light was asking, so what is the purpose here? And I do want to say that. Let's type out what is the purpose here. The purpose of this book, of this RPG book, is to test a significant number, to test a large number of RPG game mechanics that I have developed without trying to build a whole new RPG. That's later. I have tried, or I am trying, or I have tried to integrate these new mechanics into an existing system, into the existing old school essentials, which is OSE framework. Well, OSE. Oh, let me see if I can get you some larger text here. Let me bump up to 400%. Oh yeah, that's better. Okay, should be able to see that now. Existing OSE framework. So as many of as much material I know. Let me tell you, I got plenty of spare boxes over here. I did. It does look like, by the way, that I over-ordered shirts. I'm not sure how that happened. I needed 2 more large shirts for some reason, and those have also been ordered. So they're going to show up here next week with the stickers. But I got tons. Hey. So I need 2 more large shirts actually to arrive as well. But I do have, I ordered, I don't know how that happened. I fulfilled all the Kickstarter rewards and I still have a fair number of shirts. I'm going to inventory those and I'll put them on the website for general order after all the Kickstarter rewards go out. I mean, it's probably like 12 or 15, maybe 16 shirts, something like that. I don't know how that happened. But they're out there. So, okay. So the existing old school framework. So as much material, as much existing material developed for that system will remain compatible with this hack, right? Because the thinking is that if I go through, and we did work on this for the hacked, for the Faded Edge, trying to develop an entirely new universal systems mechanic, universal action resolution mechanic. But if you go through there and you tear out, you change up all of the ability scores, you change up your action resolution mechanic, you start doing all that stuff, you have a new system here, and then a whole bunch of other stuff also has to change. Like all of your bad guys. Like if you've got a bestiary of all these different bad guys, all of a sudden all of those things have to change. And I would rather not do that right now. I'd rather be able to test as many of the mechanics that I can in this environment where, okay, you can pick up an OSE bestiary or whatever else, or adventure or whatever, and run it without too much work, without trying to, how do I completely revise how deal with this completely revised action resolution mechanic or something like that. So that's kind of the purpose. Like, what are we doing here? That was kind of my thought here. And I found that I kind of thought that the OSE system was the easiest one to work with, because I felt like I was working at kind of like the base level of an RPG, which is exactly the opposite way that I felt when I was like looking at Pathfinder. Was it 2nd edition or whatever? Looking at the latest edition of Pathfinder, which, like, oh man, you are not looking at base level. You're looking at things that are really, really well built out to do something very specific with. I think we're going to need to change a few things here. So I said Hacked Edge, character generation. So basically we go to this. Your character is defined by 6 core ability scores. Roll 3d6 for each ability in the order listed below. So we're just importing all of the basic abilities, which I would change, but you know what? These work, and everybody knows them. Con, we're gonna have to work with con, because I want to be sure that everything is significant here. But because when you think realistically, use that word here, like what's going to make somebody really effective in a dungeon delve? It's probably being really strong. Why would somebody go into a dungeon, and who's the kind of person who would come out of it? Probably the really strong guy. And so when I think of different things that should be important in a dungeon, I often end up coming back to strength. And then at one time it's like, wait a minute, are you making strength like the Uber statistic or something that everyone? Yeah, but on the other hand, people who are strong and have raw power and physical bulk are probably going to be most effective at this. Reasoning and education, okay, intelligence, willpower, wisdom, willpower, and intuition, dexterity, agility, and hand-eye coordination, constitution, vitality, and metabolic health. That makes sense. And I think I was trying to actually not use constitution for our stamina, but actually I think it's going to have to happen. Otherwise, Constitution gets into a weird place. And then charisma, presence, and leadership. So you're rolling 3d6 straight down, shopkeeper rule. If you roll a character with no ability score above 8, you may discard the character and start over. And that was significant, we said, because in the old school system, our bonuses for certain things don't really start until 13, and our negatives don't start until 8. So you could be a 9 and still have no particular bonus to something. So instead of like a 5th edition D&D where your 0 modifier is 10 and 11, in old school stuff, your 0 modifier is 9, 10, 11, and 12. So when you're operating at the bell curve, that gives a lot more people zeros. So if you have no score above an 8, and so that would mean that you actually have penalties to stuff, discard and start over. Select one of the available character classes, and I went ahead and built in all of the classic old school stuff: cleric, dwarf, elf, fighter, halfling, magic user, thief. Some have minimums for ability scores, which may disqualify you from choosing certain classes. For example, a dwarf can only be selected so long as the character's con score is 9 or greater. The chosen class determines your character's race. Because this is race as class, use a demi-human class, dwarf, elf, or halfling. Unless a demi-human class, dwarf, elf, or halfling is selected, the character is human. Although I might put in gnome. And I just noticed that gnome was added when I was looking at the carcass crawler number 5. For 0th level characters, gnome was included. But I guess gnome is in... I was just going through all of the classic fantasy. But I guess in the advanced fantasy... we do have gnome. I guess I will have to see how... I'm going to have to refresh my memory on how it works in the advanced fantasy. Because in the advanced fantasy, you do separate race and class. But gnome is over here, page 83. What is it like? 83, gnome. It says available classes and max level: assassin 6th, cleric 7th, fighter 6th, illusionist 7th, and thief. I mean, maybe what you do is you just make this gnome the illusionist. Maybe that's what you do. Just combine gnome and illusionist to be that particular character class. It's probably got information in there. Infravision, listen at doors, magic resistance. Yeah. So possibly also including gnome. I'll make a note of that up here. Gnome, maybe if we add that in. The character is human. If you desire, you may raise your character's prime. I think this is basically where we got to last time. If you desire, you may raise your character's prime requisites by lowering either strength, intelligence, or wisdom, so long as it's not also a prime requisite for the character class. For every 2 points by which those ability scores are reduced, 1 point may be added to a prime requisite. However, no score may be lowered below 9. Some character classes have additional constraints. Okay. That's old school. If you're doing the 0th level characters, you don't get to do your ability score adjustment. I mean, that's kind of harsh. I mean, strength is important, intelligence is important, wisdom is important, but you can take things from them to give to a prime requisite if you'd like. At 2 to 1. Okay, I think this is it. We were just talking about determine standard ability modifiers. Yeah, BGD says, even back in the Holmes basic days around the time of re-release of the first DMG, I liked the complete separation and recombination of race and class. It has always felt better and more logical to me. And generally speaking, I agree. Now, here, one of the goals here is fast character creation. Everything has to have a niche, which is easier to do if you're not trying to combine things. But, in today's world, it seems like the fantasy races don't really do very much. Is that kind of the case with that was almost the case with the original kind of 5th edition, that they don't really add a whole lot to it. And you don't even have like race-based class restrictions or things. So I agree. But on the other hand, if you're trying to go fast, and also be very cognizant of niche protection, you can do that really easily with just class as race. So I think. Now, I said what you could do, now this would be something new here, is to just add in, this would be, this would be something new. This like, do we need to? This would be like a 5e modifier. And the only reason that I was tossing this around here is because I felt like I was missing that when I was playing AD&D. That as my nephews were playing, I was like, all right, let's make, and I was just kind of used to having a target number in my head. Okay, let's have a 15, roll a dex check or something, but that wasn't there. And I felt like I kind of missed it. But actually, maybe I think that's getting away from this idea. Why don't we make it more roll under check? Hey, and actually, kind of like a ICRPG kind of thing where we have easy and hard. Actually, I kind of like this way of going about it. BGD says there's definitely a case to be made for class as race when it comes to efficient and streamlining, to your point. And I'm expecting this to be lethal. I'm expecting this to be pretty lethal. Now, I've done a few things at first level to make it a little bit less lethal, but I'm expecting it to be lethal. So if you die, I don't want you to spend a whole lot of time. Hey, let's spend 3 hours making a character and come up with a complex backstory and all of that. That isn't this style. So actually, let's not have this. Let's use ability checks. Now, so that means we're going to need to remove this. But ability checks are made with a roll under. And see, but I'm preserving some of the weirdness of this because when you're talking about a unified resolution mechanic, boy, OSE does not have that. Old school stuff, everything is very arbitrary. You've got, if you have ability checks, let's make that roll under. Of course, your saving throws are roll over. Doesn't make any sense, but it's one of the warts of the old school system, so I guess they're preserved. And then when you're trying to do some kind of skill check in OSE, that is either a D6 based check or a percentile based check. And there's no real reason for any of that I can really tell. I think it should be written on the character sheet. Okay, no, wait a minute. Am I trying to roll over this number or under this number? So I didn't try to fix any of that, other than I tried to make everything that was a skill-based kind of check a D6, rather than having D6 and percentiles. So that has 3 different ways to make some kind of check. But that's better than 4 ways to make some kind of check, right? That violates the unified action resolution mechanic. So BGD says 5e 2024 has ridden the swinging pendulum all the other way, where front loading has become the priority, and no matter what race you choose, you get something good for nothing right from the start. Yeah, and now, admittedly, I guess I've been kind of adding quite a bit to these classes, or more than is traditional in OSE. But another thing that they do when you're talking about your classes with, or talking about taking your class, man, there are a lot of options. Like that you're going to get a whole bunch of stuff just by being part of your class. And so you can start to map out where I'm going. And I tried to map out where I'm going. When I get to this level, I'm going to take this. And when I get to this level, I'm going to take this. So there are very few, maybe no options on the character class. Like when you level up, okay, you get this. So what differentiates you is what you have found during the game. So that's kind of what you wear. You are what you wear role playing. But actually, I have a defense of that, in that, well, instead of, hey, here's the whole tree mapped out on character classes that I'm going to have from 0, and here's where I'm going to go, and then I'm going to multi-class into this and take this and whatever. You don't know what your character's going to be like, because what your character is like at level 10 is going to be determined by what actually happened to you in the dungeons. So Stray says, we used to let people choose their race and then give a list of classes that would make sense for the setting. They could pick whatever. The point was to hop in and play. Yeah. But that's, this could be revised again to put in class and race. I don't really see a point right now. I mean, like if I added gnome, that's cleric, dwarf, elf, fighter, gnome, halfling, magic user, and thief. 1, 2, I think it should be 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 8 different classes. Trying to make sure that each one of them has a niche. So, and actually, I mean, arguably, gnome is rather special. If you do gnome illusionist, that's rather specialty. So let's pull this out. We're going to put this under, we'll say ability checks. If ability checks are made by rolling a d20 and trying to roll equal to or under the abilities value, abilities score. At the Game Master's option, GM's option, a roll can either be easy or hard, in which case the 3 is added or subtracted from the ability score, or added, which 3 is subtracted, or easy or hard. 3 is added or subtracted from the ability score, respectively. I mean, I guess you could also do a advantage or disadvantage, which is kind of used here. But okay, so let's just take that out and let's put this under adventuring and make that, because I was trying to kind of structure this book here. This is ability checks. Because I do like that about GURPS. I found myself missing when I was playing AD&D with the nephews, saying, hey, I just have this target number in my mind. Okay, it's going to be a 12. Give me a dex check or whatever. But there were no modifiers from which to do that. But going all the way back to the GURPS days, that is the way that you called it out. You would say, okay, dex check, and the game master didn't have to have a number because you're rolling equal to or under your value. And that's shown on your character sheet. The advantage to that, okay, I guess I'm talking myself even further into this, is that the advantage to that is that you don't have to get another number from the game master. That's a good idea. No additional number necessary. Just as a game design note, because I would like to put game design notes in here. So this is game design notes. No additional number is needed from the game master. All information necessary to resolve the check is on the character sheet. And that on the character sheet. And that means that that's why your ability scores will matter, even if they're not providing a bonus or penalty to something. Because we said that in this kind of situation, the bonuses are flatter. 9, 10, 11, and 12 are rather flat, or are flat. But they would still matter. A 9 versus a 12 would still matter when you're doing a roll under for an ability score. Okay, so I like that. Okay, I talked myself all the way around in that. So there you go. So you adjust ability scores. Then ability scores and effects, ability modifiers and effects. Score determines your modifiers. Determines the modifiers to different aspects of your character. And by the way, another reason that I started to go back and do this is because I was working on those Celtic character classes for OSE, but I realized that, why would I not go ahead and also, like in the same book, if you have like the OSE table, why not also have the Hacked Edge table? Why not just make that one book? And so I realized, what I should do then is I need to go ahead and get this formalized. That way I can put those things in the same kind of book. So that's why I went back and I started working on this again. No matter what you want to do, you have to do something else first. So strength. What did I have here? So strength, and there's a table. Oh, open doors. Okay. Let's call that a skill. I do have my adventuring skills right here. Let's add, this is kind of getting a bit longer than I was trying to come up with a very tight list of skills. Open doors. I think for the sake of completion, open doors needs to be put here, but I'll put, I won't write all this out, but this is determined by character strength. Which kind of makes it the odd man out, because all the others are determined by class. But I think that's okay. It's kind of some old school kind of weirdness right here. So strength is the most vital stat for survival. Because like I said, it kept backing into, strength. Strength determines how hard you hit and how much punishment you can take. Like, those are two big things. So a melee modifier added to damage rolls with handheld weapons. Wounds, we have both stamina and wounds, and I've always thought that strength was the best modifier, or the strength was the thing that best determined what your physical size, right? And your physical size is the best way to figure out like how many hits with a battle axe you can take. Now, actually, this formula. I'm going to put this down someplace. Damage and healing, wounds. We do probably need to adjust for creature size, because if you are, your size statistic is actually probably the thing that is closest to, okay, how many hit points do you get? Because, how much actually physical bulk and physical mass. So creature size is probably that. But once you get to everybody being medium, basically everybody is medium, except for, I guess, halfling, and probably if we go with gnome as well. Your creature size and then your strength probably tells you how much meat you've got. So add your strength modifier. Add the strength modifier for wounds. Directly to your max wounds. And then open doors, your chance to force open stuck dungeon doors. And there's a table for this. Yeah, I guess it's in. This is the right book. Players, no, it's advanced fantasy. In classic old school ways, there's a different table for each one of these abilities. Let's see. Oh, yeah, right here. So, like strength, yeah, you don't get a melee modifier until you have 8 or less, which is -1. 6 to 8 is -1, and 13 to 15 is +1. So significant. But you've got to have a high score or a low score. Hey, tabletop scholar. Yep. Well, I've kind of been shifting to night streams. I have kind of been shifting to those Sunday and Wednesday nights. I wasn't able to do Sunday this time, so I did Monday. But I'm kind of, instead of mornings, I've been shifting to evening streams. There are other reasons I might want to go back to the morning, but for the moment, I'm transitioning to evening streams. Open Doors. Open Doors happens to be 2 and 6 at levels at strength scores 9 to 12. You drop down to 1 and 6 at basically anything below 8. And you do get 3 and 6, up to 4 and 6 at 16 and 17. So if you're able to roll really high in strength, then you get large open doors. Okay, so that's that. Dexterity. Well, I don't know if it's your active defense. Is your ability to use your body. I don't know. I'll think of another sentence later. But okay, so that's a missile modifier. So that's going to modify your missile attack. What? And we're saying with dexterity, yeah, you don't get one until you hit 13. Initiative, I'm thinking about using a different thing for initiative. But initiative is there, and we don't have AC right here in this game, so AC is not being modified by your dex. We're going to talk about that together later. We can't, the shifting is too much. Shifting your armor is too much. So I will just say defense. We'll come back to that. Okay, I think Constitution is your long-term is your long-term health. I feel like I've already written some of these things down. Overall health. And resistance. See, it's often seems like to me a resistance. And we talked about when we were talking about hacked edge, the difference between something active and something that's a resistance. Poison and disease. But the problem there is that poison, the problem there is that really it's your class that determines your resistance to disease. So I think we're not going to be able to get around actually increasing stamina increase. Well, maybe. I don't think that's going to be that bad. Let me write my thoughts down here, because I'm very concerned about inflationary. I don't really like inflationary hit points, which is why I typically don't use them. But that's built into OSE, and it's an old school thing that you're going to get more of these things as you level up. Here we've divided hit points into stamina and then wounds. Wounds being your actual physical meat, and then the stamina being everything else that you could have done in order to avoid damage. So actually, come to think of it, defense. So stamina increase. If you're not getting any kind of increase to your stamina, this is my thoughts here. If you are not getting any kind of bonus to stamina until a score of 13, that's probably fine. Because, you know, you're not going to be getting a bonus to your wounds until 13 anyway. So, I mean, you gotta have something high in order to even get a +1. So that's probably not a problem. Apply the Constitution, the stamina modifier to your max stamina at every level. Now that's different too, because here I don't say that do that with your wounds. Your strength modifier to wounds directly to your add the strength modifier directly to your max wounds. You don't get that every level, but you do get stamina, like your Constitution bonus when you're rolling. You would get that every level. We'll make that clear. Okay, I'm finding that acceptable. So this isn't going to be. So this probably won't go out of control. This probably won't get out of control. And if it does, it's because you've got like an insane constitution. So that's probably okay. Here's an argument too. Could you increase your defense with a increase to stamina, because that's stamina is a very big catch-all category. A defense with to increase your stamina because of high dex. Maybe so. Because stamina is everything else that you're doing to avoid getting hit. So you're not actually taking physical damage when your stamina is depleted. That could be because you dodged. Could represent your ability to dodge. Why not? Actually, I think that's probably a good idea. I mean, it seems like no matter what you do, things are going to get, if you're working in an AC environment, the armor class environment, you can get higher AC because you've got better armor, or you can have a higher AC because you've got a high dex. So sometimes things double up like that. So I think that's fine. So maybe so. I love these streams because I get to talk it out. Once you talk out your thinking. Stamina regen. So I hadn't completely thought this out, but I was going to adjust your regeneration of stamina by your con. And then I was also going to adjust your poison and death saves. So your poison and death saves are generally controlled by your class, but your constitution should adjust that. Actually, I kind of like this. I think this is going pretty well. So constitution, that has purpose. Dexterity, that has purpose. Initiative, I still really love my card-based initiative, and there is something that could be done here to make here as well, because initiative is I want to be very important. I'm generally unhappy with how unimportant initiative is in many of these systems, because if you swing first and you kill your opponent first, that should really matter. But oftentimes in a lot of these games, it doesn't really matter if you go first, because you can't kill your opponent or do something that's going to end the fight in the first round anyway. You know, I mean, if you're talking about like guns with normal people, initiative is really important, because if you shoot the other person first, I mean, you probably won the fight. So going first is really important. But going first becomes not very important if everybody's got 60 hit points or whatever. And you can only do D8 plus 3 damage or whatever. It doesn't matter. I don't like that. So I want initiative to really matter. So dexterity would really matter. So I mean, ideally from the gameplay perspective, you want all these to really matter. And Constitution was lacking because I tried to pull it out of stamina for some reason, but that seems to be wrong. Okay. Intelligence. So intelligence here. Okay, that determines how many different languages you can speak. Okay. It determines literacy. Right. And then it determines also fluency. I think it needs to do something else too. In fact, you know, in Hackmaster, like, wait, what about bonus spells? Do we not have bonus spells in here? No. Yeah, what about bonus spells? That should happen in here. Where is my AD&D book? I was trying to actually clean up around here and get my library back in order. What kind of stuff does... I mean, I was looking at AD&D because I played that a lot. Like strength also, okay, hit probability and damage adjustment. I'm rolling all those things into one. Weight allowance, maximum press, open doors, bend bars, lift gates. I don't think we need to add in something like that. Just use open doors, I guess. Dexterity, reaction adjustment, missile attack, a bonus. Defensive adjustment. Constitution comes with hit point adjustment. Okay. System shock, resurrection survival, poison save, and regeneration, right? So actually, you're basically never going to get a poison save adjustment in AD&D. I hear a lot of things going on over here. Okay. You're basically never going to get one of those if you're a normal human, a poison save adjustment, and you're not going to get regeneration as well. System shock, I don't really see a reason to include. Resurrection survival, I don't see a reason to include that. Intelligence over here, number of bonus languages, spell level. Is spell level maximum spell? List the highest level of spells that can be cast by a wizard of this intelligence. Oh man, I forgot about that. That would make it really restrictive on a wizard, which I don't think we do. There's a lot of things in this that are really restricting a wizard anyway. So I don't think, like, what the wizard needs to do is cast spells. So I had completely forgotten about that it takes an intelligence of 18 to be able to cast 9th level spells in Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. Yikes. Chance to learn spell. I mean, do we need that? Maximum number of spells per level. And then illusion, immunity. Okay, I don't think there's anything that needs to be added right there. But I do want to also take a look at one of my other favorite kind of old school games like this. Which is Hackmaster. People are always surprised I like this one. Let's see, what kind of stuff does it give bonuses for? Ability scores, page 10. Now, the one I'm thinking of for strength, okay, strength, damage modifier, okay, feat of strength, lift, carry, okay, we're going to handle that in a different way. Intelligence. Okay. Intelligence actually gives you an attack modifier. So, like, why should, is that an interesting thing to do? Bonus spells, attack modifier? Maybe. I mean, being that you got to get to a 13 anyway, what if you are a highly intelligent fighter? Because it says attack modifier. The intelligence attack modifier combines with the dexterity attack modifier to provide the character's base attack. The base attack, of course, modifies the character's chance to hit. I thought it had something else around here about maybe. I mean, if you're a smart fighter, like why shouldn't you get something for being a smart fighter? Now, in this case, maybe it's maybe the reason not to do it is because you think, okay, hey, I'm double dipping here, because if the wizard's going to have high intelligence, they're going to be casting spells, but we got damage by class, and the wizards are already very limited. So probably not game breaking. Let's not do like limiting a spell level. But actually, we could also have bonus skill points. I'm not real big on having a lot of characters go up in skill on your skills, like your, especially like the fighter. The fighter needs to fight, so not going up in skills. There are a couple of other things that will go up in skills, but not very many. But maybe intelligence, maybe high intelligence is the only thing that gives you additional skill points to spend at low level. I could get behind that. It wouldn't be a lot. Wisdom. Let's check all of our wisdom modifiers here. So, classic old school. Wisdom basically just adjusts magic saves. So wisdom says magic saves applied to saving throws against spells, rods, staves, and wands. Okay, so that's what we've got. All right, got it? Over here in AD&D, we've got magical defense adjustment, bonus spells. Oh, bonus spells for clerics. Well, and other divine spellcasters. Over here, chance of spell failure. I don't think we need that. Spell immunity. That only happens at 19 plus. That's not a concern here. Magical defense adjustment. We've already got. Okay. Let's go over here to what does Hackmaster say about wisdom? Well, once again, it does give you an attack modifier. So wisdom gives you an initiative modifier, a BP bonus. Oh no, it doesn't. It doesn't give you an attack modifier. Excuse me, that was intelligence. Wisdom gives you initiative modifier, BP, which is your skills, defense modifier, and mental saving throw modifier. So initiative modifier combines with dexterity modifier to provide the character's base initiative. Defense modifier, the wisdom defense modifier combines with the dexterity modifier to provide the character's base defense. I don't know if we need that. One-time bonus granted at character creation for skills, and then mental saving throw modifier. Okay. Wisdom's giving bonus spells for clerics and other divine spellcasters, and then also increasing your saving throws against spells, rods, staves, and wands. Okay. Charisma. Let's see. Charisma over here in OSE, NPC reactions, max number of retainers, and loyalty values. So yeah, modifies your NPC reactions, and then also tells you your maximum number of retainers and your hirelings you can lead and their base loyalty. Got it. Stray says low wisdom. I can't tell you how many times I geeked out. I geeked the mage when Stride charmed my brawn ass. I'm not sure what that means. Is there anything else that we need to do with charisma? Checking charisma, AD&D. Exactly the same thing in AD&D. Maximum number of henchmen, base loyalty, and reaction adjustment. Okay. Let's see. Oh, well, we've got looks over here. Looks and charisma. Charisma starting honor modifier, turning modifier, morale modifier, maximum proteges. Okay, I think that basically has it. Okay, so there will be tables that come in here to help out with that. Oh, Count Strahd. I forget how to spell his name, but he always made me attack the wizard. When Strahd charmed you. Gotcha. Measured in 2 ways. Your ability to resist damage is measured in 2 ways. First is stamina. Why don't we say the first is wounds, which represents the total amount of physical damage you can sustain. Second, stamina represents all other possible ways you could absorb, deflect, or otherwise avoid taking damage. Damage is removed. Stamina first, or I can say generally, we got more, but generally, is removed from stamina first, and then wounds. Yeah, I'm probably repeating myself right here, but wounds, physical wounds. Well, I think I just said that. If wounds reach 0, you are dead. And this is your class. This is based on your class plus your strength modifier. An example, a fighter with a base of 6 with strength 16. Is that true that that's +2? Let me say check that. Has 8 wounds. A magic user has a base of 4 with a strength of 7. -1 has 3 wounds. No one starts with stamina. Let's see. Halflings, that's not right. I believe they start with 3d2 stamina. Halflings start with 3d2 stamina to represent their extraordinary luck. All other classes start with 0 stamina, and then you don't get more stamina until level 2. You're reliant on your meat up until level 1, up until level 2. Okay, so that is all that I had there. We need to keep going based on what is in Old School Essentials. That was ability scores. We just got through ability scores. Oh, alignment. I don't know what to do about alignment. Hey, let me see over here. Looking for something over here. Oh, right here. Okay, let me, I've got to run to the restroom. Just 1 second. I'll be right back. Okay, there we go. Hey, why is my... Oh, there we go. Okay, I'm back. Thanks, guys. Oh, yeah, we need to go. Yeti hug break, Yeti hug break, Yeti hug break. Where is... Here we go.
Oh, it's time for a Yeti hug break. Yeti hug break, Yeti hug break. Everybody go hug yo Yeti and show yo Yeti some love. Oh, it's time for a Yeti hug break. Yeti hug break, Yeti hug break. Everybody go hug yo Yeti and show yo Yeti some love.
Yes, got to have Yeti hug break. So there we go. It's been a while since we've had one of those. Next comes alignment. I'm never a huge alignment person. And especially kind of the way it's handled in OSE. But I guess what you do, I guess for this hack, you just bring over standard OSE alignments. I tend to drop that from my world books. But I guess you just bring those over. Alignments. Just so if they are referenced by things. It's here. Not really huge on that. Next up is languages. And actually, and some of these classes give you a lot of languages. So some of these classes, I noticed, give you a lot of languages. in OSE. So take common and then class languages. I really like for, oh, hey, no, I see it. Well, I see this chat anyway. Hey, Sable. Good to see you. But I do like, what was the system that had you like roll to see? I do like the system that had PCs roll to see if they know a language as they encounter it. Maybe that's what you do with bonus languages. Rather than having to figure out, sorry about that. Had a power outage. My computer apparently went out while I was away this afternoon, so I had to reset a bunch of stuff too. That's how you handle bonus languages. It's not a thing that you don't have to deal with during character creation. Bonus languages from int. Because how do you know what you're going to encounter and what's going to be useful to you during the adventure? Just say I get 3 or 2 bonus languages or whatever, and I get a chance to know. I guess then you have to have a chance to know language, or maybe that's just standardized or something. But that way you don't have to spend time. Okay, pick some other languages. Those classes that give you languages give you a lot of them anyway. So then pick languages. Then you go into character classes. So then the big breakdown on character classes. I guess. So yeah. Then this book talks about advancement. But then money. Yeah, I get then money and equipment. Did we ever say pick name, basic description? Then male or female? Those choices. But then the next big thing is equipment. So equipment, but that's probably it then after that. Equipment. And I want there to be 3 loadouts for each class. No an hour shopping with gold. Lord, that's I can't finish my character because somebody else has the book. I remember that. And we're all trying to shop for all of our equipment. Okay, let's just skip all of that. And saying that there's going to be 3 loadouts per character class that each have a certain kind of purpose. And pick one. Okay, and then you're done. Yeah, and then this book goes into other things like vehicles and mounts and actually things that magic and other things about playing this game. So that's okay. This is not exactly finalized text. We still have some notes in here, but that is 768 words about how to create a character. That doesn't include the character class descriptions. So cleric, okay, requirements, none. Prime requisite. What time is it? Okay, we're gonna go for just a little while longer. Prime requisite is wisdom. Whoa. I am leaving hit die in here as kind of a vestigial element. what we're talking about here, Stray? Stray says this is a really neat perspective. Because things may refer to hit dice from other parts of OSE and stuff like that, like spells and things like that. So I'm just leaving hit die in here. And I think that it actually ended up with, in all cases, I was using the hit die as the stamina die that it was actually used. So it does have a purpose, but on stamina, I was just writing that down. It does seem like it correlates with the hit die. We should check that as we go on. But I left that just because, like I said, I want this to be compatible with a bunch of OSE stuff. So if something is like, hey, check by hit die, you know, what you can do X or Y or Z, okay, then it's there. Now, a change here is that this is what type of armor you can wear. And we just have... I don't know, where would I find this? Okay, so here are our armor categories. Light, medium, heavy, and super heavy. Or I think I'm actually calling this extra heavy now. You could do extra heavy and then super heavy might be something else above that. But I don't know if we need that. So our armor classes, if you will. Oh, Sable Phoenix says, I do have to say, the music in the background does make this feel very chill and evening oriented. Well, that's exactly what I was going for. So thank you. Oh, and you know what? I didn't change back to my purple. There we go. I need to come up with a... Oh, I do have a be right back for the wind down. I thought I did. I had to use my morning grind to be right back. So I swapped over. But that was the whole point. I try to be more chill in the evenings. Got to remember that. Maybe we should be being chill here in the evenings. Stray says, yeah, like I know how I write games, but watching this, I can see how your brain works, and in doing so, better my own. Oh, well, good. Thank you. I am glad. There are probably other people who are interested in building RPGs who would like to be with us. I assume that I'm expecting that a lot of the streams for the foreseeable future are going to be about game design. Oh, Sable says, the importance of hit dice is something that's almost been relegated to flavor in modern D&D. I personally like how OSR systems recognize how critical hit dice were to the operation. I think we have something else coming in. How critical hit dice were to the operation of, we will see, the whole game system, and leverage that into sometimes interesting mechanics. Yes. But anyway, so we're having only the following armor categories: light or this says unarmored. This says that says unarmed. I did have something originally that was unarmed, but I think I meant to write unarmored here. Unarmed does mean something, but that doesn't exactly have to do with armor. It's like, if you don't have anything to defend yourself with in your hands, you're easy to hit. So our armor categories are unarmored, light, medium, heavy, and extra heavy. And the game is based on the assumption that you are fighting somebody at medium armor. But then every character class has a maximum armor that they can wear. So clerics have an armor maximum of heavy, so they cannot wear extra heavy armor. Shields, we have a category here, which is a binary. Can you use shields? And then weapons allowed. So this is it was non-bladed, but actually, I mean, I think it's piercing too. I want to be sure I know how I'm going to write this, but non-bladed or piercing, but those seem to be damage types. So that's actually probably cutting. Like, I figure exactly how to write this. Non or no cutting, piercing. Maybe we're not distinguishing between piercing and impaling. No cutting or piercing weapons. Actually, come to think of it. So does that mean I should say blunt only? Blunt. I'm not exactly sure how I want to write this, but blunt or concussion only, because we got the types. Probably better to say exactly what you can use rather than trying to define it in the negative way. I'm probably going to call it concussion, but concussion only. And then here you go, languages. So you speak, this has also got the weird alignment language in there, which, like I said, I dropped from a lot of my world books. But okay, alignment language, whatever. I mean, it's one thing that should probably stay for being a hack of a certain thing rather than something of itself. So in combat, wounds, you start with 5 wounds and increase. Now I got a table for this as well. By 1 every 4 levels. Plus strength, I don't know. Plus modifier for strength. And increase by 1 for every 4 levels. Stamina. No, that's not right. The halfling starts with stamina at level 1. 0 stamina. I'm just gonna say consult table. Let me check that out, because that should be 0 stamina at first level. It should be 3d2 at second level, and then going on. No, do I have my? Those are the fields from my database. Because surely I did have clerics as half casters. I think they did end up having scaling. I have to open up my database. Stray says blunt weapons are also good for the undead. The classic skeletons, busting open skeletons. So where is Super Base? Let's see. Table editor, classes. No, class progression table. Cleric. Yeah. They've got a progression. I might actually have it someplace else. The tables obviously have to go into this. Cleric damage progression, right here. Got it. I'll bring it over so you can see it. Cleric, they don't maintain steady. Cleric damage progression is as follows. Level, light. We have light, medium, and heavy weapons. That's what we're going with, light, medium, and heavy weapons. So at levels 1 to 4, they have D4 for light, and then they have D6 for medium and heavy. At levels 5 to 8, we go to D6, D6, D8. And then at level 9, we are D6, because they're half casters, D8, D10. That's your cleric damage progression based on level. Divine abilities, spell casting. Gain access to divine spells starting at level 2. We got cleric spells. That'll be largely ported over from OSE. Turn the undead. Okay, we've got turning the undead. I got that matrix turned in. Critical care mastery. While all classes can use the critical care skill, I mean, that's like patching up a wound, putting gauze to stop bleeding. I mean, that is not long-term care. That is getting somebody, your friend who has been cut up, back in action. While all classes can use the critical care skill, clerics are more effective and treating wounds in the field. And so that's one of the situations where their skill increases. So skill, critical care. Yeah, I'm on cleric here. So where critical care for everybody else starts at 1 out of 6. 1 out of 6. Clerics start at 2 out of 6. So, well, clerics at level 1. I mean, maybe I don't need to write all that out because it'd be on the thing. But at level 1, clerics start with a 2 in 6 critical care skill. I mean, which is not a lot. It's not a lot. Like I said, this is going to be lethal. 2 and 6 critical care skill. 1, 2, 3, 4. It looks like it increases, which increases by 1 every 4 levels. After reaching 9th level, you get your title, you're a patriarch, and then you may establish a fortified temple, blah, blah, and get followers. Okay. Sable says, yeah, in the old school approach, damage types really mattered. All necrotic damage healed undead instead of damaging, for example. Right. And skeletons were vulnerable to blunt, but resisted slashing. 3.5 had so much more flavor than 5th does. Of course, it was the transition of WotC taking over the brand. I mean, I agree. I mean, I played a lot of 3 and 3.5. I agree. We played a lot of AD&D. Probably I played the most. I'm not sure if I played the most AD&D or 3.5, 3 or 3.5. If you're putting 3 and 3.5 together, might have been about equal. But played a lot of that. Sable says, I would stand to reason that my favorite WotC version of D&D is 3rd, even though it has gotten so bloated later on. I still love 2nd edition of the original D&D in most any version. Oh, especially because of the campaign settings. To a large extent, you can lay that at the feet of the campaign settings. Planescape at the top, Dark Sun under that, then Birthright, then the Forgotten settings. We played in Forgotten Realms a lot. I mean, it was mainly Forgotten Realms that we played in. Okay, so I mean that's the cleric. Now there's the table. Like I said, I've loaded all the tables into the super base table, so we can bring those over. What you end up with is a progression of. Did we say here? Yeah, this is not. Yeah, we got to consult the table on the stamina. I mean, we may not actually need to write the stuff down because it'll just be present on the table. Because like let me say what the cleric does as far as stamina goes. So basically everybody gets max wounds at 1st level. Just go ahead and do that. Your wound base as a cleric is 5. And then if you have a strength modifier because you're larger, then you can add that to your wounds. And you have no stamina in the beginning. Then at level 2, you get 3d2 stamina. Well, I guess even at level 0, you would add your con modifier. So if you have high con, then at level 1, you would still you could have some stamina. Let me make note of that over here as we were going through. So that high con. Well, if Dex is also modifying it, high con could be one of the only reasons you get stamina at level 1. The other being Dex modifier, if I go that route. Now we did play some Greyhawk. BGD says I played in Greyhawk extensively. I think it was an exceptional setting. I think we did play some especially some of the campaign modules that we played were set in Greyhawk. Probably sometimes we would play in things that were Greyhawk and Forgotten Realms and not notice that we were walking between the two places. Because yes, that is a classic setting. Okay, so I need to make sure we note that if it says 0, that's 0 plus con modifier, and if we go dex modifier as well, then we will add that in. But anyway, and I'm also thinking about there's a different way of rolling for stamina or hit points that I thought we had come across, and I wanted to say it was Mork Borg, but that might have been different than what I thought it was. I think my Mork Borg book is sitting in my bedroom bookshelf now. But rather than, it was something like you take the new roll, like if you roll 3d2, and if that's higher than your current, then you take it. If it's not, then you take what you rolled. If it's not, then you add +1. And I'm kind of thinking about adopting that for the way to go here. So you'd always get at least one more stamina. Well, I guess you would always, you always get at least one more anyway. So how does that change things? I don't know. I'll have to think about that. But anyway, that's when we're talking about leveling up. We've been going for about an hour and a half. I'm feeling rather chill, but on the other hand, it is 9:30 at my place. So I guess tomorrow, or not tomorrow, but the next time we stream, although it would be really nice if I could stream more evenings. But I do want to talk about dwarf. So like dwarfs, maximum armor is extra heavy. So dwarves can go extra heavy. All right. Well, I guess let me see what people are saying in the comments. Then we might wrap up here. Sable says, so many of the settings in first and second edition D&D have influenced everything that came about in geek culture afterwards without any real credit. Things like He-Man couldn't have existed without Gary Gygax's influence in Western culture. Oh, Stray is also pro Planescape. Yeah, not to mention pretty much every other single video game that's been developed that's included leveling systems. And probably hit points, too. Like hit points and stuff. Like, look at the dwarf here. I'm talking about languages. Like, dwarf gets alignment, common, dwarvish, gnomish, goblin, and kobold. I mean, look at the number of languages that is. Oh, Discord messages. Okay, I will check out Discord messages, too, when I get out of here. Okay, I will check that out. So I guess I'm planning on streaming Sunday night. If I could, I'd like to stream some other night. I'd like to be able to start streaming on Fridays again, but we will see. But I got a whole bunch of stuff going on Sunday afternoon. I've got to run up and help family with stuff Sunday afternoon. But I'm anticipating being back in time for a Sunday night stream, and we will continue this. All right, I have enjoyed it. Talk to everybody later. Yeah, great. Yeah, Friday. So Fridays, people are saying I would love to be able to that was when I was thinking about like Friday night dice and being able to test some things and things like that. Like, does this work? Like, do some kind of test or something? I don't know. So maybe. Yeah, and hit points. Okay, I will be out of here, but I will. So we'll see about Friday. I don't know if it's this. No, wait a minute. It can't be this Friday. I just was talking to a friend of mine. I said, do you want to get together? Who I haven't seen in a while. And I asked him, do we want to get together Friday or Saturday? And he said, pencil us in for Friday. So not this Friday, but maybe the Friday after that. We'll start adding in a stream. So right now we'll assume Sunday. Okay. Good night, everybody. Talk to you later. Have a wonderful evening. Go recover some hit points with a long rest. Later, everybody.